So we're gonna take you through a little workout here, and you may be asking, Nick, why do you work out? Well, I want to look good naked. You know what I'm saying? That's the first priority. Second priority is I'm actually training. Not many people know this, but I'm actually training to get back into my prosthetic legs. So I need to go get fitted. But when I was 14 years old, I hit my parents with a terrible question of, why is everybody riding a bike and I can't ride a bike? And they're like, well, Nick, you don't have legs. And it took me a little bit of a long time to realize that I didn't have legs. And so I wanted to run like the other kids. I wanted to ride bikes like the other kids. And so I actually got fitted for prosthetics when I was 14 years old, and I was a little chubby Italian boy. And I didn't realize how much muscle power and much strength went into you guys holding yourself up and walking around. And so it was one of the first things I really failed at, where I was like, I physically couldn't do it. And I'm 27 now, so it's been a couple years, 13 years, since I got back into the prosthetics. So now my training protocol is very intentional. I want to make sure that I'm activating everything and developing all the muscles from the obliques to the abs to the lower back and everything. So we're going to take you through a little bit of workout. We'll probably speed up a lot of the stuff. But I'm going to start off with some abs, and then we're going to hit some chest, and everything's going to be little micro movements, and we'll show you how a guy with no legs or an arm gets bigger muscles than you. So stay tuned. So what I'm doing here is I got the band on my right side, and I'm doing a side crunch, flexing this spot so I can activate that side of my obliques and my abs. And we did it. And then on this side, to work my right side, abs and obliques. Slide the weight here. Same thing, create some resistance. And for many years, I've probably been lifting for 6-7 years. Oftentimes you want to put a bunch of weight on and you want to throw it around. I promise you, we've all had our years of ego lifting. But the more you can just contract the muscle and work through the weight and not eliminate or destroy your form, the better pump and the more contraction you're going to get. Arnold has this great analogy. If you watch one of Arnold's documentaries, he talks about how he can go into the gym for 20-30 minutes and get a better workout than all the other guys throwing around weights. That's because he just understands both motions of really contracting and working through and creating your own tension. So look at guys like Ronnie Coleman who screw themselves up. I mean, that's how they lifted back in, but you can get those same results with time under tension. Now I look like a health coach teaching, but if you want to grow big legs, go to Ronnie and not me, definitely. So we'll check this out. This is my lifesaver. So basically this is a wrist wrap, and what I did was I put a clip on it, tied a clip, and now I can clip it anywhere, so it acts as a hand for me. So I do a lot of my lifting with bands, free weights, and cables, just time under tension and figuring out what works for me. It's the same thing when you guys go into the gym. It's like you have specific workouts that you like, and there's specific workouts that you don't like, or there's specific workouts where you really get a pump and others that you don't. You just gotta figure out what you like. But if you think about it, going back to the golden era of bodybuilding, of Arnold Schwarzenegger, all those guys, they didn't have a coach. Just put it out there, they didn't have a coach. They tested all their workouts on themselves, and they tested all the carbs, fats, and proteins on themselves to see what worked well with their body. They didn't have a coach, they just tested on themselves. And I'm not saying don't go get a coach, but you gotta test out things for yourself to see what you like and see what works. And for all my movements, I want to make sure that I'm keeping my core tight, so I'm activating my core. breathing through the movement, and not destroying form.
So this is working your chest here, right?
Yeah, so this, for me, this is working my lower chest, but also me keeping my weight stable and keeping my core stable. I'm also working my core as well. So a lot of you guys and girls, all your workouts can benefit your core. If you stay tight, if you keep your abs tight, and you keep good form, everything becomes a compound movement. Same thing. Now, so for this little arm, I got to find unique angles in order to hit the right movements. But even for this, my first initial instinct is to like put my arm down on the ground to keep me stable. But ever since I've been training to be in prosthetics, like I don't want to touch anything. I want to rely all on core. Now from your angle, it looks like a very short movement, which it is. It's all micro movements, especially on my right side. But as long as I'm contracting where I need to be contracting, the muscle is getting worked. And for all of you who could just go into the gym and pick up a dumbbell, you better not take that for granted, because I wish I could just take the 140s for a ride. I'm just kidding, I can't pick up 140s. But just the ability for you to go into a gym and not need anyone's help is a beautiful thing. Please don't take that for granted. I don't put a number of sets or reps in my head, because I feel like when we pick a number, we kind of like sell ourselves short and you probably do more. But also, a lot of this is just based off of like how you feel and where your mind and muscle connection is. It's like, are you really working through the muscle? So sometimes you don't need as many reps. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you need a couple sets in order for you to feel like you really work through the muscle. But for me, I just feel it. Like even this, like for this arm, it's too light. So I'll move down a little bit and make sure that I don't destroy form while going a little bit heavier. Sometimes I gotta move a little bit to get a better stretch.
Already sweating out here for it.
Yeah, that's the best part. I always wanted a garage gym. When I was looking for the perfect house that I wanted to move into, I'm very intentional about everything. So when you want something, you want to know all the little minor details about it. You want to relive it over and over again. And one of the things was I wanted a garage gym where I can go in and not ask anyone for help and just be able to lift and nurture and work on my body. And so when I found this listing, not only was the backyard sick, and we'll do a house video coming soon. The backyard was sick and everything, but then I went into the garage and there was a gym, and they're like, well, you're gonna have to pay them extra for that. I was like, yeah, great. Where's the check? Where do I sign?
Problem.
No problem. They're like, done, all done. And I think this is the most valuable asset of the house, right? Like what's really amazing about weightlifting, my friends, and why I think a lot of people's lives can transform through weightlifting is businesses can change, people can change, friends can change, boyfriends and girlfriends change, but the 45-pound dumbbell is still a 45-pound dumbbell, no matter whether you're feeling good or not. That thing is still there, ready to push you. And so the gym and the weights in it never change, and you can always rely on them to let out your anger and stuff. And a lot of people would be in a whole lot of better shape if they didn't go towards the cake when they were pissed off and they went towards the dumbbell. So don't let that go over your head. I will switch it up here. Let's see. Oh, I'm not gonna do it yet. But even like this, like I'm trying to figure out my next thing, and I know that I won't even be able to hold my core without me sliding. So this is where you got to drop your ego, and you got to
Drop your ego, drop the weight.
drop the ego, drop the weight. You know what I'm saying? So literally, like I could totally strap myself up or put a dumbbell there so I don't slide, but it's not the way that I want to build. Like even this is perfect for me. It's 10 pounds, right? But I'm keeping my core tight and I'm working through the muscle. It's hard for me to even stay still. You can see I always have to readjust, tighten my core, and then do the motion. And then one day I'll be able to do the 20 without, nothing holding me down. But until then, drop the ego, drop the weight.
Did we just come up with a t-shirt?
We did. Click the link. There's some people that would not like that shirt. Goes against all their identity. Okay. Now for my right side, I have a little bit more leverage, so I'll be able to go up in weight. Whole whopping 20. Even for this, I might need to put my hand down. This to stabilize me. Oh. See, it's hard. Battle every set, battle every rep. Success is paid for every day, and rent is due. And so the body don't stay the body you want if you don't do it every day. The house don't stay the nice house unless you got the money to pay the bills, right? The business doesn't stay the amazing business unless day in and day out you pay your dues. And so you'll see on my Instagram, I post, especially in my Discord group, I post pictures of me doing selfies so my people know that when they're doing their non-negotiables, I'm doing my non-negotiables. I think it's a big deal as men and women that you lead from the front. And it's very hard to influence people to do something that you're not doing yourself. You look like a hypocrite. You look like a turd. All right, you look like a damn turd. right? And so everything that I preach and everything that I teach, I make sure that I'm leading from the front and I'm actually doing it. So dues paid. Success, the damn rent is due every single day, and you got to pay it. And so Nick's hitting legs every single day. Come on. Also, when you're talking about, weightlifting, right? Like, talk about manifestation. Like, your physique is the first direct evidence or proof of manifestation that you are what you think, but most importantly, you are what you eat, and you are what you do with your body. And you all know it, whether your body changed in a positive way or a negative way, that was a form of manifestation. You manifested your love handles or you manifested your abs, one way or another. But the ability to sculpt your body is fascinating to me. And I think one of the greatest regrets that we can have is you're lying on your deathbed and you didn't get to see what your body was capable of. Right? Especially as men, right? It's like if you're a dude and you've never gotten to see an oblique, you've never gotten to see your abs in full-fledged, like, I don't want to live my life not ever seeing that. I want to be able to see what my body's capable of. Whew. If you're like a fat boy like me too, just lift really fast in hot places and I think it makes up for cardio. Or maybe I just say that in my mind. If you lift really fast in some hot places, I don't think we have to do cardio. Drop in the comments if that's accurate. Most of y'all be skipping cardio, I get it. Everybody wants abs and shit until you gotta stop eating Ben & Jerry's. It's like, I get it. I want abs, but I also want to eat ice cream. If you relate, drop a yes in the chat. Like, I want both. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I can't have both.
Your moderation, right? Ben & Jerry's once a week?
Yeah, good question. If anyone knows the secret formula, because I do think it's important to have a cheat meal, but most of y'all turn your cheat meal into a cheat day or cheat week. So you eat everything, you start to binge. And so that's a pattern as well. I get it. I started to binge. I eat 2 Oreos and next thing you know, I'm eating a whole sleeve with chocolate milk, so that's not good. But I think it's really important to have a cheat meal once a week or once every 2 weeks because you value food more. It's a really big game changer because just think about it. If you're always eating Ben & Jerry's or you're always eating pasta, you're always eating the thing that you want, you don't value that food anymore. But you do start to value that food when you can't have it for 2 weeks and you get one meal. It means so much more to you to have that meal. So I'm really coaching myself and y'all are just watching. So I'm just taking mental notes here. But yeah, I think it's important to have cheat meal once a week or once every 2 weeks so you value food more. But it's the same thing. If you keep eating Ben & Jerry's all the time, you don't value it enough. You don't value it as much as if you take it away from yourself for 2 weeks. But that's hard. It's hard work. Everybody wants the abs, but everybody wants the cake. And I like cake. Let's see if we switch it up one last time. Kind of call these the upper boobies. You could do these with dumbbells, you could do them on a cable. You're really coming up and across and focus on the upper pec. We'll do a separate video on a cold plunge guide. How to cold plunge. Because most of you are 20, 30, 40 years old and you still know how to breathe correctly. What if I were to tell you there's a way you can breathe where you can get high off your own supply? I'm in.
Yeah, sign me up.
Sign me up. And by the way, in a second, I'll pop my top and show you how fluff I am. But there's 2 secrets to make you look leaner and tighter than what you are. Jot them down. First one, get a damn tan. Right? The tanner you are, the more shredded you look. Luckily, I live in South Florida, so I lay in my backyard naked. I'm just kidding. Sometimes. And I get my tan on. So 1, tan. 2, gentlemen, most importantly, shave your body. Shave your boobie hair. Shave your stomach hair. You look a lot leaner. These are 2 little hacks. Even if you're a little sloppy like me. Oh. Let's show the world. Let's show the world what a magnificent 12% body fat looks like, because I've been eating too much damn Ben and Jerry's.
12% is pretty good though.
Is it? Maybe I'm lying.
No.
Maybe I'm not.
12% is really good.
So, I shaved before this video, you know? But I'm definitely not as lean as I could be. Listen, one of the worst things is being in fantastic shape and then years go by and you're not in fantastic shape and then you look back at videos of you in fantastic shape and you're like, I'm such a turd. So this is more for me, all right? I know y'all like this, but this is for me. It's not so good, but we're coming. We'll see you soon. We'll see you at Krispy Kreme's. See you guys.